All of the products that I featured today are self-purchase, and I do have affiliate links for some of them. And if you click them and make a purchase, I may make a commission out of it at no extra cost to you. Today I'm going to show you some of my Natasha Denona products and how I use them as a pro bridal makeup artist. This is my face with completely no makeup on. It is early in the morning. I'm gonna go have a family outing today, and it is 6:54. We're gonna test out some of the Natasha Denona products today and see how it wears all day. I can't start my day without coffee, so I'm starting with quad shot of espresso and whole milk with some light sugar. I'm just finishing up my eyebrows. If you want to see a full tutorial, I do have a separate video on it and I'll link it below. Every makeup step that you see me do, you're going to see me do it in layers and build it up. And I do want to say that my looks that I show are a little more on the dramatic side. We'll be doing a bronzy, soft eye makeup look with the Natasha Denona tan palette. Paddle. When I do makeup on myself, I do take it much higher on the eyelid, but I did explain in my other videos. If you paid attention and listened to my explanation of why I do it, you'll see what I mean. But briefly, it depends on your eye shape. You don't have to take it up this high. I do makeup on myself and I have a certain preference on how I like my makeup to look, and that's basically, you know, what I kind of show you guys. Glide. And with Toasted. And I use my finger because the application just looks more intense, and that's what I'm going for. So depending on the formula of the shadow, sometimes a brush isn't enough, and sometimes I like a super shimmery look and the finger just does the trick better. Villa. Like I said, depending on what you want to do and how intense you want the shadows to be, using your finger will be more intense, especially when you press harder versus like you softly apply the makeup like this. It gives a different intensity level. So if you want it more intense, just press harder. If you don't want it as intense, don't press as hard. I'm using a brush because I don't like my inner corner, like the light part of the eyeshadow, to look too light. So I do kind of want like a softer diffused look. Daydream. And I'm just gonna darken the outer corners of the bottom. I go in on the top right here. Most of my clients use this lash type. I just added some cluster lashes to make my eyelashes look fuller, and this is the difference. So the reason why you will see me do a pretty heavy eyelash set is because I have a lot of creasing right here, and my eyelid space right here is pretty big. So in order for me to make it look like my eyelashes appear more, because that's the look that I'm trying to go for, I need to add in more lash clusters here to make it look fuller and open. So this is the difference. So if I add in a lash cluster here, you'll kind of see what I mean about my eyes looking more lifted. So it does take practice, and you have to place it in a certain way, so you just gotta practice it. And then with an angled brush, I'm gonna go in with Dip and draw my liner. And the nice thing about dark brown shadow liner is that it looks natural but still defines your eye shape. And then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna clean underneath my eyes with the Neutrogena wipe, and I only take like a strip. Today's weather is going to be about 80 degrees or the low 80s, so I want to make sure I do my sunscreen, and this one I've been enjoying on my face because it feels lightweight and there's no flashback, and it's hydrating. You just need about maybe this much. And I do take it down my neck. See how hydrating that looks? I used a moisturizing serum before I started makeup to keep my face from being bone dry. I don't remember the name of it, but I'll link it below. I'm gonna use this Natasha Denona's HY-GLAM Serum. When I first saw it on Instagram, I wanted to try it because it kind of gives like a glow. So wanted to show the texture of this. And it glides on so smooth. And as you can see, it's very hydrating. And now that I'm in my late 30s and you know, my skin's starting to change a little bit, I do need a little extra moisturizer. So even though I'm an oily skin type, I do hydrate even more just because it's also dry at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but when you hit a certain age, you'll know what I mean. I am also an oily skin type, so it's kind of frustrating, but I am here to show you girls products and looks that complement the aging skin. And if you are similar like me, you're a millennial, you have oily skin type, you struggle with acne, and your skin is also at the same time more on the dry side because it's aging, then you want to stay with me and figure out tips and tricks on that. This is what that looks like, and it's so pretty. It gives such a nice luminous glow. All right, like I said in my previous video, I got the Natasha Denona foundation, and I am in between the N2 and N5. So I did, you know, purchase these products by myself. And I'm also not 100% sure of the shades, so I do kind of play it around. But because I am a makeup artist, I do mix shades. So I'm gonna show you my palette. I mix both of them here. Going in with the same brush, I'm gonna mix it. And these are all neutral tones. Yeah, look at the coverage of that. It's so pretty. Because I do have aging skin, I'm telling you, this looks beautiful in person and on camera. It even feels lightweight. And look at the coverage that it does for something that's very lightweight. I have tried the foundation a few times already before I filmed this. I was scared because the price point is $52 a bottle, and that is quite pricey if you're talking about everyday makeup. But I am looking for formulas that work really well on aging skin or mature skin, so that's the reason why I bought it. Most of the stuff that I buy is not a everyday consumer or like an everyday kind of makeup, but it's up to you. It's your choice if you want to purchase or not. But if you were to ask me if this is like everyday makeup, no, it's not. But if you want something that's more luxurious for your personal kit, you know, you have options here. But this is what that looks like, and it's so pretty. So because I am a makeup artist, I do purchase things as a luxury items for my bridal kit. So all of my makeup purchases are not normal makeup purchases. They are a bridal makeup artist purchase. But honestly, look at the coverage of this. Look at the finish that it leaves. I would even wear it every day. That's how good it looks. Now, I typically use these two primers underneath my foundation, but I'm not doing that today. And even though I don't have any primer on, my skin looks so good. So I don't know what's in that serum, but with the serum and the foundation together, it is so pretty. So like I told you, brushes and tools matter if you want to go over with a sponge because you want a lighter coverage, or like you don't want like a kind of like a thick filling foundation. You could go in with like a beauty blender or a sponge, but I like to go in with a brush and I keep going back and forth until it dries down. And then if I feel like I need another layer, I'll pick up more product and then go over on the areas that I think need more coverage, because this is definitely buildable coverage for sure. I'm gonna keep doing this. For today, you already know, I am a full glam girly. I like it, you know, packed on heavily, but this is just, you know, my preference. You don't have to do it, but I teach you kind of like different ways to do it. But if you practice and use tools enough, you will know what kind of finish you like and what tools give you the best finish. So if it's like an everyday makeup, I probably recommend using a sponge or a beauty blender. That will probably give the look that you're going for if you want it to look just like your skin, but better. But even though this looks like my skin and better, this is more of like a bridal makeup edition. This is not normal everyday like makeup that you would do on yourself, unless if you are like me, you go on looking like it's a bride's makeup every single day. That's a different story. And I know some of my girlies wanted more softer bronze look, so I did get the Natasha Denona High Sculpt Contour, and I got the lightest shade in Bamboo. And a little goes a long way. So you don't want to do like a full pump, you just want to do some. Going in with the same brush. So the reason why I use a palette and my makeup look different is because I'm blending it on the brush and the palette already, so that it just goes on seamlessly. Versus when you squeeze it on top of your face, it gives a different, you know, look. So you do want to keep that in mind when you're doing your makeup, why it looks different. Look at how subtle that looks. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to use this High Sculpt bronzer on my brides because it just looks like skin and it doesn't look too heavy, and it also feels great on the skin. It doesn't feel like it's too thick, but also gives me the look and the finish that I want for photography, because you know you don't want it to look like it's too harsh. So it does look beautiful on camera and in person, and those are the kind of products that I reach for when I do my brides or when I consider a product going into my makeup kit. I want to make sure that, you know, all the girlies feel comfortable with their makeup and look great on camera. Going in with the HY-GLAM Concealer. Yeah, this is so pretty. Natasha Denona definitely knows what she's doing with these formulas. And like I said, a little bit goes a long way. Going in with the high blush. This is in the shade Fresh Mauve. Like, I feel like every single product that I'm showcasing is meant for aging skin, because look at how great that looks. This is definitely makeup for aging skin, mature skin, and dry skin. It just looks great. I'm not going to bake my face today. I'm gonna go in with the One Size translucent powder all over my face just to keep the glow. So I took out about this much powder. And then going in with a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna lightly tap it everywhere. And the reason I do the tapping motion with the powder is because I don't want to move anything, that all the work that I did underneath. Slightly tap, tap, tap until it looks blended. And don't forget the neck. And another trick for your lipstick to stay on better is to lightly dust it with translucent powder also. Now, because that brush was fluffy, I'm gonna go with a dense pointy brush and go underneath here, because I typically crease under here a lot. And putting powder underneath here will help it from creasing too much. And then whatever's remaining, I go here and here. And because I did the translucent powder, my blush kind of wear down, so I'm gonna go in with a powder blush just to intensify it a little bit. Going in with the Natasha Denona's bronze powder. So we are going for a bronzy look. And this is a subtle bronzer. It doesn't look too orange, it doesn't look too gray, it doesn't look too heavy. But of course it depends on how you place the product. I'll do a little bit down my neck. It just gives like a soft, subtle bronze. This has been my favorite lip combo lately. I'm gonna go in with MAC's Stone Lip Liner. So I do exaggerate my lip line a little bit because my lips are an uneven shape, so I do round it out more. And because my bottom lip is more fuller than my top lip, I don't go underneath too much or overline on the bottom too much. So I'll do this, and then I'll go above it like that. Going in with Maybelline's Ink Liquid Lipstick in the shade Loyalist. So I do a lot of mixing and blending. So what I want to do is blend everything on the center, and then whatever's remaining, I blend it over the lip liner. MAC Oyster Girl lip gloss, putting in a little bit of the concealer. And then the lip gloss, I like to keep it on the center. And then when it feels like there's not too much on the brush left, I slide it down on the sides. Okay, this is what I do on all my brides. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray for the glow. And then after that, I'm gonna go in with the One Size Until Dawn setting spray. You wanna make sure you do a good shake. I'm gonna finish up my look with bottom eyelashes and be right back. I just finished at 9:17. So I will do check-ins to see what this looks like. I'm at the park today. This is what it looks like underneath the trees. Doing another check-in. It is 12:20 and I've been outside for like 3 hours, and like I said, it is about 80 degrees, like the low 80s here. And this is what it looks like up close at the moment. Let's see what the under eyes look like. I mean, so far it's looking pretty good. It's not creasing as much as it used to. My oils are coming out right here because I have been outside for a bit, which is very normal for me as an oily skin type. But so far so good. And I am drinking water. Only a little bit of the lipstick came out. So far it is in place. Another check-in. It is about 1 p.m. right now, and I just played ball with my children. Got a bit sweaty, but it still looks pretty good. So I am an oily skin type, and it does look like it's seeping through right here, which is very normal. But for the most part, still looking pretty good. And then I'm snacking on this fish meatball with popping eggs. Usually when I eat stuff like this, I always do this, so that it doesn't touch my lipstick as much as possible. So it's still looking pretty good. When I'm not doing a wedding or a makeup appointment, this is what I do on my free time, testing out my products and making sure that they last through activities and whatnot as like a real life wedding situation. Doing another check-in. It is 2:56 right now, and this is what it looks like so far. And I admit, this looks pretty good. I got sweaty and I kind of anticipated to be even more creasy at this moment, but it still looks pretty good. And I didn't have to bake my face, so far I'm liking how it looks. So when I have lipstick on and I do eat kind of funny. And this just helps with the lipstick to stay on. So if you weren't sure during a wedding day after you got your lips done, how you keep your lipstick intact most of the day, you try to eat in a way where you don't have your lips touch the food. And I did eat, I did snack on some greasy meatballs. So even though I got oil over here and some of the stuff in the center right here kind of went off, that's very normal. So what you want to make sure is that most of it doesn't come off. So if you're pretty good at eating, you know, like without your lips touching the food, your lips should last pretty long. In my bridal kit, I do use liquid lipstick and lip stains, so it could help the longevity of your lips. But you also have to do your part and try to take care of your face and not touch it throughout the day. So I didn't do any touch-ups at all. And for a $52 foundation, this is pretty good. Like, sometimes I look kind of cakey because I'm always baking my face with a ton of powder, but it's on purpose because I am super oily on my face, especially the T-zone area. So if you see this crease right here, typically those areas where I do this too much and it creases, it does show the crease within like an hour or two. But this foundation, even if I did this right now and went back, it doesn't look as bad. It's not creasing too much, so I bet that if I did touch-ups and have a powder puff, this would probably still look pretty good. But I do want to keep it more on the glowy side instead of the dry side. So that's my when I test out foundation, that's what I do. I don't touch it throughout the day because I want to see how it wears all the way up until nighttime. So I'll do another check-in later tonight before I go to bed. Today is July the 4th, right before the fireworks get in too deep. I'm gonna throw in the towel for the night. It is 8:14 p.m. and this is what my makeup looks like at the moment. So there is a noticeable creasing underneath the creases of my nose. But yeah, like I said, I do get pretty greasy looking towards the center of my face because I am an oily skin type. And but for the most part, this foundation is wearing pretty well and my skin still looks like skin. And it doesn't look like too cakey. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, share, and like, and stay tuned for the next one.